In the first part of this video, we explored why it's never too late to start building wealth. And we discussed some really great opportunities that are available in today's world. Now we're ready to get into the nitty-gritty of building a solid financial foundation and how to truly accelerate your journey to wealth. So relax, lean back, let's dive in. Now the first part is, what are the things you should do for good financial hygiene in this new country? And good financial hygiene, whether you are in UK, Nigeria, or anywhere in the world, always starts with budgeting and saving. You need to know how much is coming in and how much is going out and how much you are keeping after that. You can't make any money without having that understanding first. Now, I have an entire video that I created when I was in Nigeria about budgeting, but I could summarize my process briefly in 3 parts. 1, you need to give. 2, invest. And 3, spend. Giving for me starts with, if you're a Christian or you believe tithing, right? But beyond tithing, there's also giving to family. We talk about black tax being a hurdle for Africans and immigrants because you earn money in this country and you have to send it back home. Something will only be a financial hurdle if you don't plan for it. I said that at the beginning. Failing to plan is the biggest risk that you have. Now, you need to have it in your budget. Have a line item for black tax. Have a line item for tithes. Have a line item for actual giving to your family. Because you should give. It should make you happy. Give to your parents. Give to your siblings. Give, right? Now, the percentages may vary. How much you want to set aside on a monthly basis to give may vary. But have a budget for it, and once you've met that budget, make sure you do not exceed it, right? Because that's the only way you can actually control your spend. Because if you don't have a budget for it and you have a knee-jerk reaction every time someone from home asks for money or someone around you needs money, then it's going to be difficult for you to manage your finances effectively. The second bit, investing, that is actually in multiple parts, because the first part of it looks at your savings. You should have at least a 3-month emergency fund. You don't have to put it aside at once, but over time, you should save up to 3 months of your monthly income and keep it in a high interest savings account, ideally. So that way, if anything goes wrong, like we talked about earlier, housing costs, they hit everybody, whether you're a landlord or you're a tenant. Your rent might go up if you're a tenant unexpectedly, or you need to move to a new place for whatever reason. Or if you are a landlord, repairs can show up at any time. So you need to have a certain amount of money already budgeted for emergencies. It could come from your car or some random thing. In my own case, what happened recently was actually taxes, right? I did my self-assessment for the year and I had a huge tax bill that I had to pay off. So that kind of thing actually happens sometimes. Now, the second bit of it is actually investing for growth. You want your assets actually growing. Again, this is not investment advice, but what I do for that is I have an ISA. Considering how much tax that the UK government takes, you're already paying anything from 20 to 45% of your annual income to the government. You want to maximize whatever tax efficiency options that are out there. As at the time of making this video, you can put up to £20,000 in an ISA per annum, and whatever returns you make from £30,000 is completely tax-free. HMRC won't even ask you to explain it. They won't look at it. It's completely tax-free. I have an entire video where I talked about ISAs and ETFs. I'll link to it somewhere in the comments. But then something else that a lot of people don't take advantage of, and they should, is pensions, workplace pensions in particular. Now, when I say workplace pensions, I'm looking at scenarios where your employer actually contributes to your workplace pension, right? They match your workplace pensions. Now, in certain cases, it's a case of the more you increase your contribution to your pensions, the more your employer matches it, right? At least up to a limit. I know of people where if they invest 3%, I think the employer contributes maybe 5%, I can't remember. But if they take that 3% up to 5%, the employer will contribute 15%. So the employer is basically tripling your contribution. So you need to check first. Check if they actually have a scheme like that. And that's actually another point, because Different employers actually have different employee schemes. Some employers that are listed actually allow the employees to buy their shares tax free or pre-income tax, so you can actually invest in the company shares. And that's another tax efficient way of investing your money. So you need to explore those options around you and find out what's available. One thing I didn't mention, you might have noticed, is investment in property. Why? Because that's really not my jam. Again, I talked about knowing what's important to you as an individual, right? And I have my priorities when it comes to investments. But what I would suggest is before you do it, don't just rush into property because everybody says this is what to do. You need to understand how easy it is to get into or how easy it is to get out of. You need to evaluate how it fits into your goals, right? When I say it's the property you are buying, not just property in general, because property might fit into your goals like it does for a lot of people, but that particular property, for instance, I know someone that invested in all these assisted purchase kind of things where you are a part owner and a part renter of the property. Again, I didn't experience it myself, and who knows, maybe it worked out for some people, but I've seen too many videos of people lamenting about it to know that it's not what I want to do. And what usually causes a lot of people to do these things is because they want to buy property in a location where they really cannot afford. So they go for some help to buy scheme which may not pay them in the long run. So you need to evaluate how this thing is fit into your own plan as a person and decide if it actually works for you. Some people may decide that they'll buy property, but not while they are in London, for instance, because you don't want to tell yourself to own funny flats in London where you still be paying service charge, essentially rent. You'll be paying ground rent and service charge, though you are supposed to be the landlord for 20 years. Now, there was something I almost forgot to mention. Don't be afraid to spend your money. That's actually the third part of how I manage my budget. So the first thing is I give, I invest, and I spend it. First of all, I'm of the principle that money was made to be spent, right? It's a means to an end. So there's no point you investing or saving or giving to other people if you do not allocate. And that's the key word here, allocate a part of it for your own expenses, for your own enjoyment. So always budget how much you will spend to make yourself happy. Even if it's just subscriptions or taking your family out, go for trips. You're in Europe now, go for shows, go see a concert, go to West End. The important thing is that it's planned for. That's the key thing that we are emphasizing here. You need to have a plan for everything you do. So if it's having a plan for how you spend your money, how you invest it, how you give to people, you don't want to be spontaneous when it comes to handling money. So when it even comes to how you spend it, to enjoy it, the things you buy, plan it out. It will save you a ton of stress in the future. Now, aside from budgeting, the other things you need to do to maintain your general financial hygiene is maintain a good credit score. The easy ways to do this: don't open too many accounts in a short space of time because it gives the impression that you're strapped for cash or you're unstable. The number of times that you change your address is something they would consider in your credit rating as well. But one easy one is registering to vote. A lot of people don't realize this. Nigeria is a member of the Commonwealth. As a citizen of a Commonwealth country, you can register and vote in the UK if you are resident here. However, even if you decide you don't intend to vote, just registering on the electoral roll helps your credit rating as well because it's a sign of stability. Those are the kind of things that lenders look at. And then you need to understand your taxes, understand what taxes you need to pay. These are main topics because way back in Nigeria, your employer basically took out the taxes and sorted out that headache for you. But now you need to make sure that they actually deducted the right amounts because in some cases they over deduct or under deduct, and make sure you're not owing HMRC. So it's good to check these things. Now, there are four main types of ISAs. There's the stocks and shares ISA, there's cash ISA. Those two are the ones I was referring to earlier on. You have a lifetime ISA that you could use as a way to invest in property. And then there's a junior ISA that allows you to invest for your children. You can open one for each child and invest through that account for your child up to the time the child is, I think, age 18, if I'm not mistaken. And then they have access to that money. The biggest asset anyone has is time, right? And that's something your children have in abundance. So help them take advantage of it. Put some money aside for them every month and watch it grow. Worst case scenario, they use that money and pay for their Harvard tuition or open a business at the age of 21. It's something I said in one of my videos, right? That the best thing you can do for your children is give them a debt-free adulthood. If they have enough money to pay for the university of their choice without coming out with a student loan debt or anything like that, that's an asset that you bestowed on them that a lot of their peers might not have. If they have enough money to not have to worry about working, where they know, oh, I have this backup, I can explore entrepreneurship for maybe a year and see what works out. It gives them a bit of confidence. I didn't have that confidence. The minute I got out of university, I finished my NYSC, I went and started looking for work. Despite the fact that my friends and I had actually done a bit of entrepreneurship in university, and we had ideas of what we wanted to do and what we could have done, but both of us just ended up getting jobs after school because rent is not going to pay itself. If you give your kids that coaching and afford them that opportunity to explore their skill sets as adults before having to commit to a job, it's a fantastic asset for your children. And then even as they're growing up, you want to expose them to the right crowd, to the right community. Let them build their confidence as Nigerians. That's something some people that grow up here, they struggle with a sense of identity because they do not feel fully Nigerian. They don't want to commit to being Nigerian because of the negative vibes, the negative noise that they've heard about Nigeria. And yet they don't feel fully British because everyone refers to them as immigrants. Despite the fact that they were either born here or maybe they came here at very young ages and they spent all their lives here. So you want to give them that sense of self, that sense of confidence, that sense of identity, of knowing that, look, the fact that we have a few Nigerians that are not doing the best, we still have a lot of Nigerians that are doing great things. I was shocked when I found out this lady was also a Nigerian immigrant, Cynthia Erivo. The guy that directed this recent Marvel movie is also a Nigerian. There are lots of Nigerians doing great things. Sorry, I'm only talking about the ones in entertainment because the ones in politics might not be everyone's cup of tea, but we have great Nigerians out there. If you want to look into the past, if you want to look into the present, and we're doing great things all over the world. You haven't got your country well are doing great in the World Trade Organization. Don't let your children feel any kind of way or lose their self-confidence. Now, at this stage, we're going to talk about how to catch up. So I originally made this video in response to a question someone asked on another video of mine. In that other video, I talked about all the things that you would ideally do at different stages of your life. But essentially, those are things that you want to do at any stage of your life. Things like investing in yourself, invest in your skills, invest in your networking, try out entrepreneurship, and so on. A few of them that are crucial if you want to really catch up is you need to use the available technology. You need to use the technology on ground judiciously to give yourself a leg up. You cannot be afraid of AI or generative AI. Manage your personal data wisely. You can create a separate email account that you just use purely for generative AI. You don't even need to use your real name for that account, but you need to make sure that you are abreast of the tools that are available and use these tools to your advantage. Use AI for brainstorming, for learning, for speeding up your output as much as it's ethical and legal. People are already doing it. You can't just sit back and say, oh, I'll do it the old way because it feels like cheating. No, it's not cheating. It's using the available technology. A lot of things, a lot of hard things that we put ourselves through as children are really obstacles when you are on the global stage because other people are using the available technology and are moving ahead. Nobody is going to give you an award for doing things the hard way. So use the available technology and maximize your income. As much as possible, you need to max out your income sources. Now, there are two ways you can max out your income. One is through your 9 to 5. The other is through a side hustle. Now, talking about within 9 to 5, there are two ways as an employee that you can max out your income. That you get a new job that pays you a lot more than what you currently earn, or you get your current employer to pay you more. Again, two things are involved when it comes to that. Is either you get a salary bump or you get a promotion. Those are the two ways you can increase how much your current employer is paying you. But explore all those ways. Now, when it comes to getting a new job, you need to make sure that you are clear on what your visa allows you to do. You need to be clear on what your visa allows you to do, because one thing I found out quickly when I was thinking about starting a side hustle some years back was that my visa did not allow that. So I canned those ideas quickly. So you need to know what your visa allows, what your sponsorship allows, what your employer allows. Now, speaking about employers, you need to make friends at work. You need to make friends within Nigerians around you. But let's start with the ones at work. You need to make friends at work. You need to build a good reputation. Be known for something. Whether it is asking questions or answering questions or volunteering for your activities, you need to be known for something. Don't just, oh, I want to come and do my job and go home. No, I'm sorry. See, this is coming from an introvert. I am an introvert. I'm that kind of person that typically would just want to come and do my job and go. It doesn't cost you anything to be friendly with the people that you spend most of your day with. Be friendly with them. Make friends. Find out about their families. Not just your boss. Find out about the people around you. Ask them about their pets. Ask them about their kids. If they are fellow immigrants, ask them about their countries, right? You'll be surprised that just being that person that people feel comfortable around could speak for you when the time comes. There are a lot of things that we used to criticize back home in Nigeria that, oh, they only promoted this person because she's friendly with the boss. I'm sorry. In this world, those things actually count, because the assumption here is that everyone is competent. If you are not competent, you won't be working there. They would have sacked you. So if you are here and you are competent, what stands you out is your ability to engage and interact with people. It's your ability to inspire people to want to help you. That's what sets you apart sometimes. And in some cases, people could just like the way you interact. They could just like the way you ask questions, the way you articulate your thoughts, and join them for dinners, join them for hangouts. You don't have to drink if you don't want to, and you don't even have to stay long, but show your face. Show your face. Just hang out there, say hello to people, and then go home. Go and spend time with your family. And then join communities. Join Nigerian communities. See, Nigerian communities saved me during pandemic. Join communities, join WhatsApp groups, join Telegram groups. Not just any random one, but where you have friends, where you know people. It was a Telegram group that helped me when I was trying to get a Schengen visa. When all the slots were always gone in 2 minutes. I was basically in one Telegram group. I didn't pay or anything, just in a group. And then someone just posted, I saw the post on the Telegram group and I just checked the sites and slots were open for a month. This thing had been closed for weeks before that. I'd been checking daily for weeks before that. I booked it within a few days because a lot of people were waiting. All those were gone. I'm not even sure those slots lasted 24 hours. Let me plug my own Telegram group. I have a Telegram group. The link is in the comments below. We get together, we discuss our finances. Join if you want. It's free for now. Right? It might not be free forever. There's another group I have of YouTube content creators where we exchange ideas and share tips and things like that. These things actually help you. And then the last thing on this point of networking and joining communities, find yourself a mentor. Now, a mentor doesn't have to be someone from work, one, and two, it doesn't have to be someone that is superior to you in all aspects. It basically just means that person has an expertise that you would like to learn from. So it could be someone that is good with their finances and you would like them to mentor you on that. It could be someone that is good in terms of articulating of their ideas, public speaking and things like that. So whatever it is, find mentors and mentor other people as well. It could be someone that is new in the country and you share what you know about settling down, about finding property, about investing. Let's build a community that helps each other. Let's not isolate one another. This whole idea of, oh, I don't want to mingle with the Nigerian community because Nigerians are just bad people everywhere. No, please scrap that thought. They're great people. Now, in addition to you maximizing your revenue, the other thing you need to maximize is your savings, because lifestyle inflation, lifestyle creep is the biggest risk that you have when it comes to your savings or investments. Your salary might be increasing, you might be gaining from side hustles, but if you do not manage your expenses, if you do not keep your lifestyle stable, if your lifestyle is increasing with your income, then you will never have any savings or assets. So you need to avoid that and then avoid other other money traps in this country. You have subscriptions for everything now, monthly bills, your utilities, water, gas, electricity, and all that. You are paying subscriptions for Disney Plus, for practically every streaming service there is. You are paying subscription for Amazon Fresh so that you can get groceries. But you need to manage which ones am I really using, which ones am I not using. If it's a family, again, same question. Which subscriptions are necessary? You also have apps now. They also charge you subscription. So you have all these things chipping away month on month without you paying attention to them. And it seems like small money. It's £10 here, £10 there. But if you don't pay attention to these things, you end up with leakages basically. Because you have a budget, but you find out that you won't be able to meet that budget because you have other little leakages here and there. So you need to be careful. We're coming towards the end of the video. And as I promised, here are some bonus tips. Now, what I know today about finances in the UK or growing my money, I learned mostly by one, research, or two, speaking with actual professionals. There are lots of websites and platforms that you can go to and actually reach out to professionals in this country and book a session with them. They're not offering the services for free. However, for them to evaluate where you stand and if their services are actually right for you, for both of you to actually do that evaluation, you need to talk. You need to have a conversation. And sometimes during those conversations, you ask some questions, they give you answers. I've had free 1-hour sessions with multiple consultants because they were basically pitching their business to me. They were trying to go through my financial position to understand how can they help me. One wanted me to move my pensions to them. Another wanted to manage my assets for me. So you can have those kind of sessions, right? And what are the platforms that you can find them? One that I typically use is called Unbiased, unbiased.co.uk. You go there, you just look through the list of financial professionals that they have. I've spoken with mortgage advisors there. I've spoken with accountants from there. Accountants, mortgage advisors, tax advisors, they have different types of financial professionals. They will list their contact details. You reach out to them, you can send them an email, they will get back to you. You book a session and then you talk to them and tell them what your concerns are. And then they will tell you how they might be able to help you. And in most cases, they will actually just answer some of your questions for free. So that's one bonus tip I'm actually giving you now. Reach out to actual professionals and discuss your issues. They are out there, they will help you. Before we wrap up the video, I want to read some comments from my last video. In particular, the comment that got me to make this video. Let's see. All right, so in that video, I did ask people to drop what were the skills that they learned when they were younger. So the first one that someone said was she sold in university, and sales, I believe sales is very powerful. I had to do a sales job at some point. I hated it, but it was helpful because I learned certain skills that I still use today. The other person said they learned, same person, KK Foodcraft. She said she learned how to cook. That's also a very important life skill that I've had to rely a lot more on in this country. Like in Nigeria, where I could just be ordering food. Here, you need to cook. It's another good way to save money. And then the third thing she said is, I look forward to you doing a video where you give stories of how you learned those skills as a preteen. It will be helpful for parents and preteens. The skill that I talked about learning as a preteen, the main skill, wasn't so much a skill as it was character development, building your confidence as a preteen. And honestly, I can't tell you that I built my confidence as a preteen. But one of the things that helped me was the fact that I went to boarding school and I survived under really tough conditions. I was able to survive when things didn't go well. I was able to wake up very early in the morning. I was 11, 12. Used to, first of all, do housework. First year, you clean the toilet. Second year, you cut grass. And then after housework, you take a shower. Then you go for your first class in the morning. Then after that first class, you now go for breakfast. And after breakfast, you go to the chapel for your assembly. I still remember that routine. The fact that I went through all that, and it's basically a case of what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I came out of that experience with this feeling of capability. I felt I was able to take on anything life threw at me. And life did throw a lot more at me. I was 16 when I left secondary school. There was still a lot more that I went through. From my first job, from NYSC, so many things. But that confidence that saw me through secondary school It gave me the boldness to face a lot more. I think what I could say about that is because my mom can be quite protective, but my parents giving me that freedom to say, you know what, go to boarding school. Because I was the one that asked to go to boarding school because my older sibling had gone. So the fact that they gave me that liberty to say, oh, okay, fine, you want to go to boarding school, go to boarding school. It's a good experience. Without trying to protect me completely from all the dangers of the world. I don't want to say putting your kids through hardship, but not shielding them completely from every single risk actually helps build their confidence and not overly criticizing them. That's something else I would suggest. Even when you criticize them, you don't jab at their self-worth or their sense of self. You point out what was wrong with what they did and you give them opportunity to correct it. The last comment on this video, which is the one that really gave birth to this video, was from Tunde Badaman TV Force. That's a long name, but it's my guy. He says, if man's over 40, the reason for that is because the title of the video says 10 money moves you must make before 10 and 40 to build generational wealth. And my guy is asking, what if man's over 40? And my response to that is watch this video. This one that we're recording right now, right? Watch it. That's it for questions for today. Remember, you can leave your own question in the comments and I'll answer it in subsequent videos as well. Thank you for watching till the end. Now, we've discussed a lot of things in this video and there's so much that you could do to take your financials to the next level. What I want you to do for me is leave a comment below and tell me the first thing you will do as a result of what you've learned today. Is it to open a high interest savings account and start building your emergency fund? Is it to check with HR or whoever is responsible for your workplace pensions and find out what schemes there are and possibly even increase your contributions? Is it to open a stocks and shares ISA, start investing monthly, or even set up automatic investments? If you want to see the platform that I use for that, it will be in the video description below. Leave a comment and let me know what you will do first. Ideally, you should do everything eventually. And while you're doing that, check the video description for links to resources, websites, and some of them are affiliate links. So it helps me, it helps the channel, but you don't have to use the affiliate links. If you find anything that is interesting, please check it out. And after that, make sure you watch this video that YouTube is giving you here or here. Just watch the video. And remember, we don't just want to keep the gist flowing. We want to get our money growing. So talk to you soon.